Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm sorry if my voice sounds raspy as hell, but I literally just woke up, so that's why it probably does. I'm just filming this video really quickly before school starts. So this is just going to be a really quick technical analysis on Tesla. And I'd like to start out with the fact that I'm really surprised by how bullish it's seeming this morning, because honestly I was expecting it to be a bit weak at the beginning of the day and then sort of get stronger, but it seems that at the pre-market open, as you can see, it's at 619 already, and it closed yesterday at 609, which is rather surprising for me. So I would say there are a few different scenarios that could happen. One, it could potentially go lower at open and then go down to 600 right here, bounce off and keep going up. Two, it could sort of stay course, open about the same, then drop to 600, then go back up. Or if the stock is bullish, it could stay course at 619 or so, then break through the resistance at open, go all the way up to like 627 resistance, come down a bit, then break, then keep going up. And I would say all these scenarios are relatively possible, but I'm surprised by just how bullish it's seeming this morning. So for that reason, I really think that it's possible that that the last scenario I just mentioned could happen today, just because it's seemingly going to have a bullish open because the pre-market's looking really strong, which again surprised me, because the thing is that, I don't know if you guys know, but some news came out that they're going to be shutting down the Model S and Model X production lines for like 18 days or so. And personally, I think that's actually a good thing, because the Model S and Model X in general for the past several years have been just completely losing demand. And people were just moving over to the Model 3 and Model Y, because what was happening is that before, people used to buy a lot of Model X's and Model S's because there was just no other alternative in terms of electric vehicles. But now people don't need to do that, because Tesla has other electric vehicles to offer. And just so you guys know, Tesla doesn't have any demand issues. Like Elon issued an email to the employees on Friday that they have way more demand than they can keep up with in terms of production. So I'm not scared about any demand issues. It's just that I know that sometimes traders don't really know how to take information, and they might take it the wrong way. And I thought that would happen with the whole supply line thing, but seemingly it didn't. And I would like to notice that just while I was talking, the stock moved up like a whole dollar. So it's really seeming bullish. Of course, it's just pre-market. It doesn't mean so much, but I mean, it is looking really rather bullish at the moment. So I would say the last scenario that I mentioned, where it moves up, potentially right at open or pretty quickly, is really rather likely. I would say there's a pretty decent chance of that happening, in my opinion. But, another thing could happen, I just thought of, where it kind of lowers a bit at open to like the 607 or 609 or so, and then goes up, consolidates, then breaks through. That could also happen, as a matter of fact. I could definitely see that happen. I would say that's a pretty likely scenario, as a matter of fact. But in general, it's looking bullish for today. And now let's head on to the 4-hour chart. Now at the 4-hour, we're going to be using this to sort of track what's going to happen for the week. And for the week, I expect it to be bullish most likely, unless something really bad happens, some really bad news, or the stock market's just really bearish. But in general, I expect the week to look something like this. Generally in the up direction, some slopes down and to 700, or maybe a little bit higher than 700 even. Definitely possible. Really depends on what happens this week. I would say 700 could very much happen. I would say like a pretty realistic case scenario is that it goes to 700 and then stops off, or maybe goes a little bit higher than 700 and then stops off. But of course, there is a possibility that this could happen, where pretty early on, like maybe end of Wednesday it already hit 700, comes down maybe to 680, but then rallies really hard, sort of like right before the inclusion happens, and goes all the way to 800. Although personally, I think that's rather unlikely. Like, I don't think that's such a likely scenario at this point that it goes to 800, but I mean, it's Tesla stock, you know, anything could happen. It very well might go to 800. Personally, I think 750 is pretty likely. And 700 is like really being like a realist. Then if you're really being like a realist, then 700 is probably where you're going to think it's going to end up. 750 though is very possible in my opinion. 800 will be a bit difficult, but I mean it's still possible, but it's not such a high chance in my opinion. But then I would say actually the lowest, like the least unlikely scenario is that it goes up a bit and then kind of just drops off before inclusion. I would say this is really rather unlikely. Because I think this week is going to be a bullish week. But now let's head over to the 1-day chart so that I can tell you guys what I think will happen after inclusion. Okay, so we're over at the 1-day chart. So I expect it to go up. Like I said, say it goes to 750. I expect it to drop off quite a bit, either next week or the week after next. So I expect maybe something like this to happen, where it drops off to maybe 600 or so, maybe 650 depending on how bullish the markets are. And then I expect the deliveries announcement to happen right around here. Well, whoops, I didn't realize actually how far the 1-day chart goes, so I like drew all the way in February. Sorry about that, guys. But I expect around here, like 3rd of January, when the stock reports deliveries, to bounce off either to 650 or to 600, depending on how low it goes, go back up, or like this, depends. If it goes to 650, maybe it'll go to 700, then drop off a bit, back to 650, then go back up before earnings, then drop off, and then kind of stay low for a while, consolidate, and then eventually go up to Pluto. And I think I expect pretty much the same thing here. Just maybe takes a longer time to get to Pluto. But, you know, I think I expect about the same scenarios long term, no matter what happens this week or what happens this month, because Tesla's a really great company. It's growing a lot, and I believe a lot in it. So, yeah. If you guys did enjoy this video, I would love it if you guys left a like and subscribe. That'd be really, really awesome. I'm going to catch you guys next time. Peace.